cybersecurity. It's a big issue. It was a big issue in 2020, 2021, and I'm sure it's going to continue to be in 2022. And there's already a story out there circulating about Log4j. That's way above my pay grade. That's why I bring on the experts. Nick Powers, cybersecurity expert, joining me. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Boom Daddy. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. So you've got cybersecurity experts working around the clock to fix a major flaw in a commonly used Java-based programming system. I'm going to let you take it from there. Tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah, so what happened was early December, it was discovered that a commonly used library that we include in a lot of the basically application development of the systems we use, eBay, Google Docs, Minecraft, all these types of systems, they want to log errors, and so that way the developers can figure out what's going wrong with their programs. Well, they all use this common library called Log4j, and Log4j has a fatal flaw in it that allows somebody to inject code into it very easily. It's almost criminal how easy it is to do that, and it allows them to compromise a system and take over the server, allowing them to do whatever they want.
So you got companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, they all run this Log4j, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's a unbelievably common library. It's been around for many, many years. It's essentially, because I was a developer for 20 years, you know, we all write code to log errors. And what we don't want to do is write the same code over and over and over again. So we build these libraries. And this one programmer came up with a great library that does a multitude of things and published it on the web. That got picked up by the Apache nonprofit organization, and it basically proliferated it across the globe, and it was widely used, widely adopted, but it's only supported by a group of nonprofit volunteers that update it occasionally. It's not somebody making a bunch of money off of it. And so as a result of that, you know, a bunch of companies put their trust in a piece of software that isn't really regularly maintained and checked for security flaws.
Nick, you as well as anybody knows that there are people who wake up and their entire day is, how am I going to hack? How am I going to get into something? Don't these companies realize this at this point in time? Why are we continuing to talk about stories like this?
You know, I think what it is, and people have talked to me about this throughout my career as a developer, is, you know, we don't necessarily qualify people to be a software developer. You go to college or not, you learn a language. They're very highly sought after. You know, software developers don't grow on trees. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, you have a lot of, I guess you say, the rapid adoption of the internet, the rapid adoption of mobile application platforms. It happens so fast that you're just throwing people at it, and they're not really doing great coding patterns. A lot of companies come back around and they do that later. And sometimes, though, they miss things. And these things are missing are starting to pop up. And I guess at the end of the day, what we're having is a lot of focus by other countries in the world trying to find ways of hacking, you know, different platforms. And they're using a lowest common denominator approach, which is, what are the most common pieces of software that people use? Log4j is incredibly common. And so they spent a lot of time trying to find this fatal flaw, and when they did, it's really, really bad.
Talking to Nick Powers, cybersecurity expert. So what's happening here is that because of this new flaw, hackers can easily take control of somebody's computer system, leaving them susceptible to ransomware. And what they do is they get full control, install the ransomware, and then they can run crypto mining. What is crypto mining?
So crypto mining is essentially you're actually running algorithms to basically build blocks of blockchain which support cryptocurrency. So think Bitcoin. What you do is you have to run these algorithms, a lot of compute time to build out the pieces of the blockchain that actually support the cryptocurrency. And so what you need is a whole bunch of processors. And so if I can figure out a way of taking over a whole bunch of computers, and then I'll focus them on mining or building that algorithm for a piece of Bitcoin, then I can make a lot of money over time. But it takes a lot of computers. And so essentially you've had this for years, is people have been trying to put programs on my mobile phone, my home PC, to get them to mine cryptocurrency for them in the background without me knowing. So that way they could get as many people mining for them as possible so they could make money.
So you got companies right now across the world scanning their systems to see if their network or devices have been compromised. Is that what happens whenever you've got a hack? Everybody freaks out and they're like, oh my God, we got to check stuff?
Yeah, it's a combination of a couple different things. So these hacks are really focused at software, so the platforms. And so what's happening is all these software vendors are rapidly trying to push updates out to the industry to say, to make sure that their software cannot be hacked.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got that coming at companies right now where they're basically getting a patch a day from all these different companies' software that they use. I mean, this impacts ERP systems, instant messaging systems. I mean, you can pretty much think a wide gamut of applications. So you got these companies all sitting there fielding all of these applications updates, and they're trying to field them to their production environments, which is at the speed they need to do this can be very, very crazy. It could disrupt business. It can cause a lot of problems. Then you have the secondary effect, which is the systems that are in place. They're making the decision whether or not to shut them down or to continuously monitor them with security operations centers or other software to see if they do get hacked, because maybe they can't turn those systems off because it will be so disrupting and they don't have a patch yet. So there's a lot of nervous energy going on right now across the board, all over the world, as we try to handle this hack.
All right, Nick, what is the best advice you can give to somebody listening right now as far as protecting their own computer, protecting themselves from getting hacked? What do they need to do?
I mean, there's two main things that every common PC user needs to make sure they're doing every day. Number one is make sure your automatic updates on your computers are being done on a regular basis. Those updates are very important. And things like Log4j get fixed if, for instance, you are running something on your computer that could get hacked. Now, Log4j typically, what it is a hack on servers, so it's not really going to impact your home desktops. But just in general, ransomware protection, malware protection, you need to make sure you're updating your PCs. The second thing I would recommend is turn on multi-factor authentication on anything that's really important to you. And so that would be your email account, your Facebook account, Instagram, banking accounts, credit card accounts, 401ks. Turn on multi-factor authentication. Make it so if someone did get a hold of your email account and your password, they still can't log in without your phone or some other form of authentication. If you do those two things, you've done a ton of you've done a lot to protect yourself from hackers.
Are we ever going to get on the other side of this, Nick? And what I mean by that is, are we ever going to have people protecting systems that are better than the actual hackers themselves? Because it seems like the hackers are the more talented individuals out there. Why is that?
So I wouldn't necessarily say they get the most press, right? Because they
true, very true.
they do things that hurt people. They take money from people. They get the most press. I mean, this is how it always has worked throughout time. Is the bad guys get a lot of press because people are shocked by what they're doing. There's a lot of good guys out there, and my business hires a lot of those good guys to help protect those companies, and we get a lot of those good guys from the U.S. military. And so every day somebody retires or separates from the military and comes out with some amazing cybersecurity skills, and they're doing some great things for companies across the country. Are we going to get to the other side of that? I don't know if we will. I think it's going to be a common kind of battle, almost like trying to bring balance to the force, if you want to use a Star Wars metaphor, because I think you're always going to have, the give and take of rapidly advancing technology, people coding and writing things to get there, but also somebody else on the other side of the wall going, how do I bring that down? How do I take it down? And I think you're just going to always see this. Now, I hope we don't see the types of damages that we've seen over the last couple of years. Right. But I think, as things escalate across the world, we have global enemies in this, China and Russia now. And it's just I think it's going to continue to be this way for many years.
Yeah, it's just going to get worse. Nick, thanks for your expertise, buddy. Appreciate it.